Hello team, today we're going to make a presentation, or at least what that means is we're going to play with images, and as we click on a button it's going to dynamically change the picture. So first off, what we want to do is we want to make sure the frame has an ID, so in this case the ID is going to be presentation for me. I do not have any colors on this parcel, so checking color doesn't matter for me. It's got an initial URL. It doesn't really matter in this case, but yeah, so this is the GIF I have right now that's playing. So let's make a button. I'm going to place it here. There's no need to put an ID on it. And now what I'll do is I will go into the HTML UI. Sweet. Come on. There we go. Sweet. So we see here that the ID is URL. It's called an URL. It's going to be fairly easy to change it. And the button, no script for now, but we'll change that. So I'm going to go into Replit to make it easier to code. And what you'll see here is that I've already put a some lines here. What that is you pretty much make a variable of URL, for example, that is a list. This means that it's an array, and an array is, in this case, is going to be composed of strings. So I've got a string for the URL of all my pictures. So as you can see, this is using Dropbox. So I've got here, for example, another link that I want to put on this. So if I want to add it to this list of files, I go comma, quote, and I paste my link. So now I've got four pictures that I want to put in my image, and I want to dynamically go through all these pictures as I click on the button. So how do we do that? Well, first off, because we're on the button, we want to make sure our script knows what we're talking about. So I'm going to call it pres is equal to parcel dot get feature by ID, and it's called presentation. That's the idea of our image frame. Perfect. So now we go feature dot on click, E for the event. Sorry. Perfect. So what happens now? Now what we want to do is we want to declare an I equals 0. So what that is we're going to start with I equals 0, and then we're going to add 1. So it's going to be I equal 1, I equal 2, I equal 3, and that will help us iterate through all these within the array. Alright, so we're going to start with an if. I'm going to write it if I is different than files.length, then do something. So what that condition is if all I here, so number 0, is different than the length of files. So files is the name of my list, so I'm going to call it URL just to make it easier to understand. URL, perfect. So the length of this is the number of variables I've got in there. So here I've got 4 of them. So pretty much what it does is we're going to execute something until I is equal to 4. So let's continue. So if I is equal to is different, then we add 1. I plus plus means it's going to become 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. Else, if it's not, if it is equal to the length, then we're going to go with I is equal to 0. Perfect. So as there's something I have to mention here, it's that you're wondering why I'm putting I equal to 0, because it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? The thing is, in an array, if I go array 0, then that will return the very first value. So technically it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, not 4. So in this case I'm going to go URL length -1. Perfect. Right, so that happens. Now we want to actually change the URL, right? So as we click on it, I is different than or URL length -1. So before we go with I++, we're going to go with press.set URL, 2 deleted dots, and it's going to be file URL, and we call I. Yeah, looks about right. Yeah, so that retrieves the value I, the item I within URL, and then we go 1++. Sweet. So let's try that. Let's copy and paste it. Perfect. I'm gonna refresh it. I'm gonna open the dev console to see if there's any problem. It's a bit slow to load, sorry. So it looks like everything is fine. So let's press that button. So something happened here. Now let's press it again. Oh, perfect. So it actually changed the URL. So now if I press it again, it changes. So that was a GIF, now it's a PNG. Now it doesn't play again. And then if I play this, and then it restarts. Nice. So I realized that my fourth picture is not included in this, and the reason might be the reason is wait, 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's remove that -1. Copy. Damn it. Let's go into the HTML UI. A bit slow again. I might have to clean my parser a little bit. Cool. There you go. So now I have to refresh it again. So there's nothing wrong with my code. I'm gonna close this and press. So that's the item 0, I equals 0. Now I got a 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So as you can see, when I press the 4th time, it doesn't happen because there's that that function has reached the limit, so it goes an extra 1. I'm actually a bit confused right now, but it works fine, so I might just leave it like that. So yeah, so now I can imagine that I am in a presentation room or whatever, and I can just go through my my gifts and my beautiful hat here. So yeah, job well done.